Hey folks, in today's Conundrum, we will cover the case of Richard Francis Cottingham, an American serial killer and rapist who preyed upon New York and New Jersey from 1967 to 1980. With at least 18 victims, he was known as the New York Ripper, the Torso Killer, and the Times Square Killer. Cottingham's confirmed killings led to 9 convictions, 8 confessions, and multiple life sentences in New Jersey prisons. In 2009, he chillingly claimed responsibility for 80 to 100 perfect murders nationwide. Surviving victims testified against him, resulting in 3 convictions and 1 acquittal. Welcome back to Conundrum, where we delve into the minds and history of serial killers. If you like this type of content, please like, subscribe, and put the notification bell on so you don't miss any of my future uploads. Thank you for being here. Richard Cottingham, born on November 25, 1946, in the Bronx, New York City, was the eldest of 4 children. His family relocated to Dumont, New Jersey in 1948, and later settled in River Vale, New Jersey in 1956. It was during his time in River Vale that Cottingham developed an interest in bondage pornography. He graduated from Pascack Valley High School in Hillsdale, New Jersey, in 1964. After graduating, Cottingham began working at Metropolitan Life, where his father held a vice president position. Starting in the mailroom, he later became a mainframe computer operator after taking computer courses. In October 1966, he joined Blue Cross Blue Shield Association as a computer operator, remaining there until his arrest in 1980. Interestingly, Cottingham worked alongside Rodney Alcala, a fugitive child molester and future serial killer who used the alias John Berger while living in New York. However, there is no evidence to suggest they were aware of each other's criminal activities. On May 3, 1970, Cottingham married at Our Lady of Lourdes Church in Queens Village, Queens. He and his wife had 3 children together. Their marriage faced challenges, and in April 1978, his wife filed for divorce, citing abandonment and mental cruelty. The divorce was put on hold temporarily when Cottingham was arrested in May 1980, but it was eventually finalized after his conviction in 1981. Richard Cottingham's criminal activities were not initially linked to his murders. He faced multiple arrests for lesser offenses during his killing spree. In 1969, he was convicted of drunk driving and fined $50. In 1972, he was convicted of shoplifting and sentenced to pay a $50 fine or serve 10 days in jail. In 1973, he was arrested for robbery, oral sodomy, and sexual abuse, but the case was dismissed when the complainants did not appear in further proceedings. Similarly, in 1974, he was arrested for robbery and unlawful imprisonment, but the case was also dismissed as the victim did not appear in court. Cottingham claimed to have started killing at a young age. In 1967, he strangled Nancy Shiava Vogel in New Jersey. Her body was found under a blanket in her car. He was later charged with the 1968 rape, beating, and strangulation of Diane Cusick in New York. Cottingham was convicted of 5 murders in total between 1981 and 1984. These included the brutal beating and strangulation of Marianne Carr in 1977, the mutilation and burning of 2 sex workers in 1979, the murder of Valerie Ann Street in 1980, and the strangulation and throat-cutting of Jean Rayner in 1980. Over the years, Cottingham made additional confessions to various unsolved murders. He admitted to the killings of 3 teenage females between 1968 and 1969, Jacqueline Harp, Irene Blaze, and Denise Falaska. These cases were exceptionally closed by the Bergen County Prosecutor's Office with agreement from the victims' families. Cottingham also confessed to the 1974 murders of Lorraine Marie Kelly and Marianne Pryor, and the 1970 murder of Lorraine McGraw. He further admitted to killing 4 women in Long Island, New York, during 1972 and 1973. Mary Beth Hines, Laverne Moye, Sheila Hyman, and Maria Emerita Rosado Nieves. In 2023, Cottingham confessed to another homicide committed in 1967. Through various confessions and investigations, Cottingham's extensive criminal history has gradually been revealed, shedding light on the extent of his violent acts. In May 1980, Richard Cottingham picked up 18-year-old Leslie Ann Odell, engaging in a sexual transaction. After checking into a motel, Cottingham handcuffed Odell and subjected her to torture and assault. Her cries prompted motel staff to call the police, leading to Cottingham's arrest. Upon apprehension, he was found with various disturbing items, including handcuffs, a gag, weapons, and prescription pills. The charges against him included kidnapping, attempted murder, sexual assault, possession of weapons, and controlled substances. During the early 1980s, Cottingham was convicted of 5 murders in separate trials in New Jersey and New York. Despite his efforts to avoid detection, a fingerprint left at a crime scene linked him to one of the murders. Evidence, survivor testimonies, and items belonging to the victims further connected him to the crimes. After initially denying involvement, Cottingham eventually confessed to the 5 murders in 2009. Over the years, Cottingham made additional confessions. In 2010, he pleaded guilty to the 1967 murder of Nancy Vogel and confessed to killing 3 schoolgirls. In 2021, he pleaded guilty to the 1974 kidnapping, rape, and drowning of Lorraine Marie Kelly and Mary Ann Pryor. Cottingham confessed to the 1970 murder of Lorraine McGraw in 2022. He pleaded guilty to the 1968 murder of Diane Cusick and officially admitted to killing 4 other women in Long Island: Mary Beth Hines, Laverne Moy, Sheila Hyman, and Maria Emerita Rosado Nieves. In March 2023, he confessed to the murder of Mary Ann Della Sala in 1967. Richard Cottingham has admitted to killing 18 victims, potentially up to 100. His known victims were adolescent girls and adult women between 1967 and 1980. He drugged and tortured sex workers before strangling them. He disposed of their heads and hands to hinder identification and kept personal items as trophies. These are the known victims of his heinous crimes. We won't let them be forgotten. Mary Ann Della Sala, 17. Disappeared in Hackensack, New Jersey in 1967. Her body was found 3 months later in the Passaic River. Cause of death, strangulation. Nancy Schiava Vogel, 29. Found dead in Ridgefield Park, New Jersey in 1967. She was last seen 3 days earlier and was kidnapped by Cottingham. Cause of death, strangulation. Diane Martin Cusick, 23. Found dead outside a mall in Valley Stream, New York in 1968. She was beaten, raped, and strangled. Cottingham pretended to be a security guard or police officer to approach her. Jacqueline Leah Harp, 13. Disappeared in Midland Park, New Jersey in 1968. Her body was found the next day. Cause of death, beaten and strangled. Irene Blaze, 18. Reported missing in 1969 and found strangled in Saddle River, New Jersey. Cottingham saw her shopping in Hackensack and convinced her to join him before killing her. Denise Velasca, 15. Disappeared in Gloucester, New Jersey in 1969 and was found dead the next day in Saddlebrook. Cause of death, strangled. Lorraine Montalvo McGraw, 26. Found dead in South Nyack, New York in 1970. She had a history of prostitution. Cause of death, strangulation. Mary Beth Hines, 21. Found dead near a creek in Rockville Center, New York in 1972. Cause of death, strangulation. Laverne Moy, 23. Discovered in a creek in Rockville Center, New York in 1972. Cause of death, strangulation. Sheila Hyman, 33. Found bludgeoned and stabbed to death in her home in North Woodmere, New York in 1973. Marita Emerita Rosado Nieves, 18. Found strangled to death in Wantagh, New York in 1973. Lorraine Marie Kelly, 16, and Mary Ann Pryor, 17. Hitchhikers who were found beaten, raped, and strangled in Montvale, New Jersey in 1974. Marianne Kanjemi Carr, 26. Found dead in Little Ferry, New Jersey in 1977. She was kidnapped, tortured, raped, and strangled. Karen Schilt, 22. Pregnant waitress who was sexually assaulted and abandoned by Cottingham in New Jersey in 1978. Susan Geiger, 19. Tortured, beaten, and sexually assaulted by Cottingham in 1978. Dita Goodarzi, 22. And Manhattan Jane Doe. 2 women found burned, beheaded, and mutilated in a New York City hotel room in 1979. Valerie Ann Street, 19. Found dead in a motel in Hasbrouck Heights, New Jersey in 1980. She was suffocated to death and had numerous bite marks. Thank you to all who stuck to the end of the video. All small creators like me have certain goals in mind when they start this journey, and reaching a quarter of it is my first big milestone. Since we are all interested in similar topics, my idea is to do a giveaway for a 1-year Curiosity Stream plan when we reach 250 subscribers, as a thank you for your support so far. I'm happy to have you here. I am Alex, and this is Conundrum. Stay curious and stay safe.